This is a Suboptimal podcast. Check out our suboptimal content at suboptimal.co.
Going to be talking about that time I was reincarnated as a slime. Comfy really has been talking about this, so I'm happy that we got to watch it. So, how are you guys doing today?
Oh, not bad.
Having a time.
Good.
So,
So,
your guys' second podcast of the day.
yeah, we were just on the Red No cast, which was fun. Happy to be a part.
Lots of screaming and yelling and chatting.
Yeah, a couple rants. I managed to avoid ranting about Fallout 76 again, which is always good.
It's a hard time for him.
It really is.
Yeah. It's almost like when, Comfy gets asked about Respawn's Star Wars game getting canceled and he loses his shit. Just because Respawn canceled their game. I don't understand why he gets so mad.
Can I have mod privileges so I can move Copper out of this chat right now?
All right.
I'm mad.
So I watched the first three.
Yes.
I'm in. I'm liking it.
You're
I'm
in?
probably gonna keep up with
Okay.
it. All right. Well, I'm gonna watch it.
So
It's very funny.
The quick summary of what the show is and what happened. Basically, it opens up on this guy who is a salaryman. He works in general contracting. He's got a boring life, and he's out to lunch with one of the younger guys that he works with, and that dude's girlfriend. And
he's quite literally a 37-year-old version. This guy has no life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's one of the plots. I'll get to that. Don't worry. And as they went out to lunch and they're walking back, and some dude runs up with a knife and is looking to stab somebody. And so our main character, who I don't even remember what his original name was, he's like, you know what? I'll get stabbed. I have nothing to live for. So he runs out and gets stabbed.
Well, he pushes his younger compatriot out of the way.
Yes.
So that he doesn't get stabbed, and as a result, he himself gets stabbed.
Yeah. And basically, he's laying there, bleeding out, not having a good time, as you could only guess by bleeding out to death. And as he's like thinking through his like death, he's like, man, it's so cold right now, but at the same time, I feel like it's so hot right now. And a little voice goes on, and it's like, hot and cold resistance achieved. He's sitting there, he's like, oh, they say people who make it to 20 without ever having sex are sages. So making it to 37 and still being a virgin, I must be a great sage. And it's a great sage ability achieved. It's like all these random things going on in the background. Then he talks about how he's just going to try to have sex with a woman in his next life. And he gets a predator skill, which that one's a little iffy on my eyes, but
a little bit. It's questionable.
That like turned me off when I was watching it. I was like, okay. But he gets a bunch of random skills. Those are the two important ones are the predator skill and the great sage skill. And then he dies and he wakes up. He can't see anything. He can't feel anything. He's just kind of existing. And he starts moving around and realizing that he can just consume things. Figures out that he's a slime living in a cave in the middle of nowhere. And he runs around eating some plants, eating some rocks. Figures out that the plants can be made to make potions. So he makes some potions. Figures out that the rocks are all magical. So he eats them and becomes super magical. Then he finds this big ass dragon named Veldora, who is a tsundere dragon, which is very fun for everybody. If you don't know what that means, it means he's literally sitting there going, no, it's not like I like you or anything. Pretty sure the dragon actually says that at one point. I forget. Basically, our good boy, the slime, is talking to the dragon, and the dragon's like, here, I'm going to give you the power to see. And suddenly he can see. Dragon gives him a bunch of other powers. And then he gives him a name, Rimuru. Rimuru Tempest, because the dragon's name is Veldora Tempest, so he gave him his family name. Super kind.
Mm-hmm.
And then our boy Rimuru is like, hey, you know what? I can't break you out of this magical prison that you're stuck in. However, I can swallow you whole, and maybe one day I'll be able to break down the prison inside of me and then let you out. And so our good boy eats an entire dragon, consuming all of his like energy and shit.
He like eats the whole prison around him with the dragon still inside of it.
Eats this whole magical prison that Veldora is trapped in. And then the rest of the episode is him basically making his way out of this cave, killing all of the monsters that are in the cave with him, and then consuming them and stealing their powers.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious how like strong he gets. He just gets to be the super jack slime, which a slime is usually like a garbage tier
the weakest monster. Yeah, they're low tier monsters normally.
And that's a very prevalent thing later on. Like he becomes the leader of a small goblin village. He names all of the goblins, and names are words of power, so all the goblins turn into hobgoblins. He saves them from a direwolf attack by killing the lead direwolf, and then the direwolves all pledge allegiance to him, and he names them, and they become Tempest Wolves, and they can shoot lightning now because that makes sense.
Right. Wait, they can? When did
they can? Yeah.
I must not have seen that later part yet.
Yeah, you didn't get to that part yet.
Although
it's like the next episode or two. It's not like a massive plot point or anything.
Okay.
It's just because they gained new attacks, right? So that's one of their new attacks.
Yeah, and because so basically he named them Tempest Wolves off of his family name that he was given by Veldora, and Veldora was the storm dragon. So the power that he inherited from Veldora was lightning and stuff. And by giving the name as a word of power to these wolves being Tempest, they were able to gain some of that power as well. And basically, you get like a good idea of the pace of the story by episode 3 when he's like kind of leading this village, and he's like, well, what do we do now? It's like, well, I mean, we could go try to make trade. It's like, well, let's go try to make trade. And so at the end of episode 3, they're heading off into to Dwargon, home of the dwarves, to try to do some trade and get some craftsmen so that they can have some more powerful just everything.
Yeah, they need
better houses, they need clothing.
Yeah, they need buildings and clothes.
Those are two big things.
Nobody in their town knows how to build a building properly, so anything they build kind of falls down.
Yeah, they're all still wearing really crappy goblin rags still, but meanwhile they're like too big,
like literally rags.
Now. Yeah,
which don't really fit anymore since they evolved into hobgoblins and goblins.
Right. So basically, he like convinces these dire wolves and goblins to live together. So like all the goblins have like pet dire wolves now, and I, as like somebody who loves dogs, I loved how happy the dire wolves were. They're just like wagging their tails all over the place.
Yeah, they wag their tails.
That is such a common theme. All of the direwolves act like puppies.
It's
in the sense that they are either super, super angry and really mad at something that somebody does or says, or they are sitting there wagging their tails viciously to the point of causing a windstorm.
It's hilarious. Yeah.
It's absolutely incredible. And the story's obviously a little ridiculous at the part that we've made it to, but it kind of only enhances itself as it goes on. There are other races that are introduced. They make contact with humans. They make contact with the dwarves, obviously, very soon. It is
dwarves, lizard men,
humans,
orcs. So they're pretty much going through and meeting all like your fantasy trope races, really.
Ogres. That was
ogres as well. Yeah, that's the other one.
That I never think that they're ogres because they just look like monster girls.
Well, now they do.
Well, they kind of did before, anyways. Yeah. I think ogre. I think Shrek. I don't think cute girl with pink hair and a fang.
Well, these are ogres in the Japanese sense of ogres, right? That's why they have the horns and stuff like that. Yeah. They're very much pulling from that, but a little more humanized. So they're not their Western concept of like a fantasy ogre. Like don't
Yeah.
think of that. Not the D&D ogre.
Right.
Yeah, and then the same thing with like orcs are the Japanese like very just enhanced pigs essentially.
Yeah.
Which isn't a super uncommon one, but like orcs in Western media historically have been big green monsters.
Yep.
Mostly due to Lord of the Rings and World of Warcraft. But the show keeps picking up. I'm still watching it week to week, and I'm absolutely enthralled by it.
How many episodes are there? Is it done with like the first season yet?
The first season isn't done yet, actually.
Okay. And there's quite a few episodes?
There's a 24 episode season. As of right now, I think we're on episode 17.
Okay. So I liked how this being on Crunchyroll.
Yes, this is on Crunchyroll.
I need to put Crunchyroll on my PlayStation in the living room so I can actually watch these shows on my couch and probably take a nap during some of them.
That's what I have. That's where I watch. If we're gonna watch something on Crunchyroll, that's what I have. It's on my PlayStation.
I need to put it on my PlayStation.
So
yeah.
Crunchyroll is a very good and easy to use app, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like that's also the same with Goblin Slayer. Like I like to, but
Yeah.
like, I spend so much damn time in my computer chair. I like to not watch TV shows in my computer chair. That'd be great.
I know the feeling.
Yeah.
But I'm all in on this show. It keeps getting more ridiculous. The main character keeps getting more overpowered.
That's amazing. It's so dumb. I love it. Do we ever find out what was on his hard drive? Because he was demanding as his dying words.
That goddamn scene.
It's probably porn. To be fair, it is probably porn. That
he's dying.
As
he's dying, he's telling his like young cohort. He's like, "Listen, I'm dying. I did this for you so you can live. Just put my computer in the bathtub and turn it on."
And they must destroy my hard drive.
Don't look at the hard drive.
Destroy the hard drive. Don't look at it.
And then cut to like I completely forgot about that part of the scene. Like I was like, that's funny. And then he's sitting there as a slime, like before he even meets Veldora, and he's like, I wonder if he took care of my computer. And it cuts to this guy saluting a computer in a bathtub as it's like sparking up.
And he said he'll name his kid after him. Yeah. He destroys the thing and then says, if I ever have a kid, I'm going to name him after the guy who had passed.
Yeah. It's just such a fun way to do it. Like the creators of this show obviously have a very good sense of humor, or the writer of the light novel did. And everything I've heard, like, because I've like looked stuff up. Apparently, like the light novel, this is following it to a T. It's doing an incredible job of keeping all of the fans of the light novel happy.
That's good.
It's usually a very common issue, such as one of my favorite shows, Akame ga Kill. The last 6 episodes are absolute garbage. Because they caught up to the light novel and decided, hey, you know what's better than asking about what's going to happen? Let's make our own ending. And it's weird. And it's not good. And I'm mad about it. I want it to have the proper ending. I want my favorite show to be good.
Well, everybody does. That's the thing, right? Everybody wants their favorite show to be good.
God Eater. And God Eater. And you can't forget about Blue Exorcist. And you can't forget about OG Full Metal Alchemist, and you can't forget about Soul Eater. Like, unfortunately, it's all too common that shows will catch up and then not go anywhere with it, which is infuriating. But hey, you know what? There's been talks about an Akame ga Kill reboot for years, so maybe one day we'll get it.
Maybe.
I don't know what that one is.
The first 18 episodes of that show are pristine. Changed my mind. The show's about people with magic weapons overthrowing a dictatorship.
Yeah.
It's really fun. It's well done. It's interesting, and it's very accessible and easy to like. Be like, oh, I understand everything going on right now.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed it. It's a show that I'll always recommend, but I'll always be like, yeah, but those last like 6-7 episodes, don't worry about them.
Last 6 or 7 episodes.
Well, I mean, if you watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood and not Full Metal Alchemist, right?
Right. Yeah.
So, in Full Metal Alchemist proper, not Brotherhood, they caught up very early on, and the story skews in a really weird way.
Yep.
So homunculus in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood are created using the Philosopher's Stones, or imperfect Philosopher's Stones, and the whole thing is like God is like the one dude trying to become the one homunculus trying to become God. That's the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
Versus in somebody just hit the Super Soviet button, so I'm going to try thinking while doing this.
Oh God.
So in Full Metal Alchemist proper, homunculuses are created when somebody tries to bring somebody back from the dead using alchemy.
Yep.
So Pride, or Bradley's son, was created by Ed and Al's teacher when she tried to bring her child back from the dead. Sloth was a completely different character and was actually based on Ed and Al's mother. And the idea was the homunculus trying to rule the nation instead of trying to become God. It was a really weird way of doing it, but it was the way that they ended up coming up with it as they went along. And I like OG Full Metal Alchemist. You'll actually see, if you watch it, the episode by episode stories are way better and more in depth. But one of the reasons for that is because they were trying to kill as much time as possible while the story was being written. Like, it's a side effect, but it's something that ended up happening. And then, like, Blue Exorcist, the entire, like, second half was written in the same way of, like, trying to make something up. And, like, the end of the storyline is, like, super not canon and really bad. And they made a second season of Blue Exorcist, which takes place immediately after the first half. Like, they completely disregard the second half completely, which is the right move. But it's a hard thing to do. That's my rant on shows that try to go past the manga or light novel.
Yeah, it never works out well. Like, Full Metal is probably the best show that went past its source material, and like still kind of sat within the realm of, okay, this makes some sense, but everything else, not so much.
Right.
One of the things, like, I watched Full Metal Alchemist before I watched Brotherhood, and I was completely content.
Yep.
I enjoyed the show, and I was like, yeah, this is a good time. I think that this is great. I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood afterwards, and looking back, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Which
the show is much better. But
Brotherhood tells a much more coherent and better story.
Yes.
And, like, if only we could have shows that stayed their hand instead of trying to build on the hype. And I don't care how you feel about Attack on Titan, because I know people either love it or hate it.
Yeah.
But they did the smartest thing ever, which was they finished the first season. They had more hype in that show than any other show at the time in Japan. That was the big show. And what they ended up doing was they said, we're not going to make the second season until we have at least 3 story arcs ahead in the manga. And they only had 1 ahead. So they stopped, and they waited 5 years to make the next season. And when they did, people still watched it and people still enjoyed it, and they were happy that they made it this far.
Yeah, That's very
And that's
good. Like that's how you take the time and do things right.
Well, it's a huge risk, though, right? That's the thing, because frankly, the other next seasons of the manga may never appear. Interest in the show might just simply go away.
Yeah.
It's a massive risk.
It's a huge like financial risk.
And especially like Attack on Titan, a lot of people were expecting them to go full out and just do the next season.
Yeah.
Because the show had so much hype. It was the biggest show that season. It had a massive budget. It told a massive story that people loved. And I went and read the manga afterwards because I was very invested in what was going on.
Yeah, I think a lot of people did. I think a lot of people switched from the show to the manga just because they didn't want to wait.
Yeah. No, and I was very happy that I did, and I read to a point that I was content with, and then stopped and waited. And now I'm actively watching Attack on Titan as it plays new episodes and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not. I am one of the people who they lost after the first season.
I want to link you a very specific clip.
Well, the thing is, I know what happens after the first season. Like, I know what happens in the manga, and the story just doesn't interest me. So
I just want to link you a clip of an animation from season 3, episode 2. I think they spent all of their budget on one episode in one scene, and it's amazing.
It's possible they blew a bunch of stuff there. Yeah,
it's just such an unbelievably beautiful animation that they did. I love it so much. I watched it and stopped watching it and rewound so that I could watch it again because I was amazed.
Now, this was in season 2, you said, or?
Yeah, this was in.
Okay, I didn't watch season 2.
Sorry, season 3. This was in season 3.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely not. I finished season 1 of it, and I was just like, I'm over it.
Yeah, the show didn't. It hooked me for a bit and just gradually lost me as they went into more and more episodes. So I was like, all right,
yeah,
that's the thing. But it happens. I mean, not every show is going to hook you forever. I mean, that is one of the things we do here is to see if a show hooks you for the beginning. And it'll be interesting at some point to go back at shows, especially those where Dale kept up with them, and see what he thinks of the ending, right? About where the turnout was.
Yeah.
Wait.
There's a lot of shows that just end very weird.
Yeah, well, and Dale just finished one of the shows he was keeping up, which was that we went over, which is Gurren Lagann.
Yes, he did.
I felt underwhelmed by the ending. Like the last scene, I was just like, oh, okay. I get it, I guess.
I totally get it because they pretty much just kept making things get more and more and more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Which I love.
I love that part. The ending, I don't know. Like for some, you guys, I don't know.
The ending where everyone's happy and
yeah, pretty much.
This just in Dale doesn't like happy endings.
Yeah, no, because you guys, I didn't mind the ending. It's the thing is, you guys were like, you guys were talking about how it was an ending where like it sucks for the people that are still around, but like it's going to be better for the people in the future. And I'm like, oh, okay. So like all of the main characters die, but they save the future. And then it didn't happen. And like one person died. And I was like, oh.
See, I remember talking about that, but talking about Iron-Blooded Orphans for that.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that was Iron-Blooded Orphans we were mentioning, which we haven't watched with you yet.
Well,
and Iron-Blooded Orphans is 100% bullshit for all the people still there, but it sets up for the future very well.
Yes.
Oh, I'm okay.
That might have been, you might have misinterpreted that. I don't know. I'm not going to say whether you did or not.
It's possible.
Because I don't know. But I do know that we 100% said that about IBO.
Okay.
Because which is still best Gundam series. Change my mind.
Yeah, it is really a really, really, really good Gundam series.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I don't know when I'll be able to like catch up with the show. I'm gonna be very busy for a couple weeks doing
yes,
some
there's a
some
lot of
things.
stuff coming up stream wise and things like that for
Yeah. So like
us. So
I don't know when the next thing for me to be able to watch something besides for the podcast. But yeah.
it's gonna be
So now I got Goblin Slayer and then the Slime Show that I'll try to catch up on.
Yeah.
So what are you guys thinking of for next week?
So there is what's it called? The Promised Neverland. That is a thing that we could watch.
Didn't you say you were going to watch some of that?
I haven't started yet.
Okay.
But it is one of the ones I am looking at just because it is supposed to be a very, very good show. There's a large amount of talking about it, so
I've heard a lot about it, but I still have no idea what it's about.
This is the one where like
I know like the concept. I don't know anything other than
okay.
the concept.
so
of
it's
what's happening.
a horror type anime where it follows kids on in an orphanage who all get adopted before they're 12, and they find out that it's not actually adoption that's happening. It's something much worse, and this leads them to trying to escape from their fate that they have living where they're at.
Yes.
They don't want to get eaten.
Basically, no one
Most
really
people,
wants to.
most people don't.
I mean, you never know. So I mean, I'm not opposed to watching that. I don't really have anything. I don't have any opinions on what we watch next, so it's all up to you guys. So like basically figure out what you're gonna ruin my week with.
I don't know if that one will ruin your week. It might. It's a horror anime. It might be disturbing, especially since it does deal with children and the fact of them trying to be, avoid
Not
being eaten. Yeah, which is
Seal
a thing.
says she thinks it sounds great and that we should do it. So
Yes.
Comfy, what do you think of that one?
I think it could be a good show. I'm looking to see what else is on the docket for like what's going on this season. Because I know we have there's a couple shows that people are really watching this season and enjoying.
Oh yeah, which
Which
one?
is
Rising of the Shield Hero is one that I'm hearing a lot about.
yeah, that one I have started watching. It is quite good.
Mm-hmm. And it's got a raccoon girl.
Yes.
Mob
can't
Psycho
help,
100.
I watched that as well, just because Mob Psycho is in its second season. That's the new season that's out.
Yes, it is.
And I've watched the full first season. Dale, that's the show that is the other show
by the One Punch Man dude.
One
Yep.
Punch Man, yeah.
Yeah, I remember having.
Yep.
I think we talked about this last week or the week before.
Yeah, we brought it up last week.
Uh-huh.
Other than that, I haven't heard about many of these shows. I'm seeing like the normal stuff. Fairy Tail is still running, episode 294.
That is still
Oh my
on.
God, what?
This is their last season.
Okay.
Okay.
I actually need to catch up. I'm like 12 episodes behind. Sword Art is still running. They're doing their third season, which has been getting progressively better. People keep telling me.
Okay.
Black Clover.
I am behind on that show. I've watched over 40 episodes of it, but I am behind on that show now. It's an odd show. The main character is you would hate the show, by the way, Dale. The main character is annoying as shit.
Okay.
And he's
That's
kind
what
of
I keep being told.
He's kind of written that way though, apparently. And apparently he's supposed to get better over time. He has yet to get better in the anime. So he's still annoying as fuck.
Okay, that sounds mega fun.
I have a friend who was telling me that I should watch it, and I was like, "Oh, is it like?" He was like, "I was like, what can you compare it to?" He's like, "Oh, it's kind of like Naruto because the character's an annoying little shit but gets better." And I was like, "Well, If you don't know my opinions on Naruto, the only reason I haven't watched it is because I can't stand fucking Naruto's voice.
Yeah.
It like grates against my ears, and people like there's memes about Black Clover being even worse.
Yeah, he's worse than Naruto by a large margin, like a really large margin. And
So
if
I've
you
heard.
don't like Naruto, you're not gonna like that show because he is really, really, really abrasive.
I not only like his voice, but all of his actions. Apparently, like he's just the worst.
And it's like they picked the most abrasive voice they could find. He's very, very loud. He yells most of the time. And like out of nowhere too. Like there'll be like a quiet scene where everybody's talking normally, and then he just starts screaming, like rather than talking. So
it sounds obnoxious as hell, and I'm in. I'm just kidding. I don't want to watch that. That sounds awful.
I'm absolutely not watching it. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, it's an iffish show in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know, there's enough shows that we can find something if we don't even.
For sure.
There's enough going on this season. Like last year as a whole for anime was kind of really good.
Yes. Yeah. Last year's anime was quite good.
Because we got I watched a video that was like breaking down a bunch of the things that we got last year. It's like we got SSS Gridman, which was super Japanese morning cartoon fun and stupid. We got Slime started last year. That was actually one that was brought up.
Yep. Yeah, we just watched that one.
We got Attack on Titan back with that incredible one animation scene that I will send you, and you will be like, okay, yeah, maybe this is really good.
Yeah, go ahead and send that to me too. I'd be curious to see it.
I will absolutely send it to you.
Okay.
I can pull it up right now. We got Rascal Doesn't Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yeah, I got to finish that show as well.
That sounds. I'm intrigued by the title. Maybe. No, I'm just kidding.
So it's you remember Bakemonogatari, which I made you watch. Back before I was on the podcast, when I was just in the chat screaming, "Watch this show!" And then, so it's basically that concept where there's supernatural stuff going on to normal characters.
Yep.
And so it starts off, and the reason it's The Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is because the first character that you're introduced to, who is like the main like female protagonist through the entire series, she has this situation where she becomes randomly invisible. And
more and more people keep forgetting about her.
Yes. So what she does
by them or remembered or anything like that.
Yeah. So what she does is she dresses up in literally like a Playboy bunny costume, so that she will know if people see her or not by the way that they react. It's her way of figuring out if she is still alive, basically.
Yeah.
Which sounds way more depressing than it is, but it's such an interesting show and it's so well done from what I've seen. I'm not super far into it, but I'm definitely hooked because I watched a little bit of it and was like, wow, this is really good. It very much reminds me of the Monogatari series. Also, I just linked that clip in the Discord for you.
Okay, I'll watch it after a while.
Yeah, it is. One of the reasons I've been liking Attack on Titan more recently is because it stopped being about people versus titans and started becoming steampunk drama.
Oh my!
That sounds awful.
Oh, it's great.
Steampunk drama. No, thank you.
Just watch the clip that I sent you, then you can judge it.
Okay, I will. So we're looking at Oh,
We're looking at. Why did I already forget what we were gonna watch?
couldn't tell you. I know we were looking at the what was that one
Neverland.
called? Neverland.
Yes, Neverland.
Promised
Promise,
Neverland.
the Promised Neverland, or is it Promise or Promised?
The Promised Neverland.
So it is D. Okay.
There is a D at the end of Promise.
Okay.
And I say that because I have it up on my other monitor, not because I'm smart enough to know.
Okay.
And that's just the way that it is. And that's
Makes-
the way the news goes. So yeah, you want to decide on horror story anime?
Sure. Why not? It's
Yeah,
fine.
it sounds like a really good one.
Yeah. I mean, none of us
I've
have
been
seen
hearing
it
really good
either,
things.
so like that's good. Like you guys, there was that other one that was new this season. That what was it? The Shield dude.
The Shield Knight, yeah.
Yeah.
Legend of
You
the
guys have
Shield
already
Hero or
both
something
seen
like
it. Like you've already started
I have
watching it.
started
and
watching
I haven't watched it.
So
I have
this
started
one will
watching that one.
be. It'll be good.
I have
because-
not started watching it.
I got
Intentionally.
impatient. I got impatient.
Okay.
I wanted to see it.
I have been so my brother who introduced me to anime but doesn't really watch it has been sending me memes about the raccoon girl
Oh God.
because he knows me and he's like, you like cat girls, here you go, kiddo.
Oh,
Here,
my.
have this.
Like he sent me
Apparently at some point,
uh,
There is another animal, like because they're demi-humans, as they're
Yes.
called in that show, are
yes.
pretty common. So there's apparently at some point going to be a bird girl as well.
Listen, I watched enough of Monster Musume to know exactly how that ends.
Apparently she can turn into like a giant chicken chocobo thing, so that's the thing.
Okay, see, now you bring up chocobos and I'm immediately more interested.
Oh God.
He is he's got fantasies about riding a chocobo. And you know,
Wink.
Wait, what? I've never heard this. I'm being fucked with, I think.
okay, you know what a chocobo is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So riding is a double entendre.
Oh, is
And-
it now? Who knew? Who knew? I was
We're
unaware
talking
of that.
about fucking a bird.
Okay.
Just in case you guys couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
I-
In case
I
there was
gotcha.
any ambiguity in the matter.
I understand.
I try to not be ambiguous about these kinds of things. I want you to know where I lie. No, but yeah, so
This has
my brother
definitely
sent me-
escalated, Retro. Yeah.
My brother's been sending me memes like the Elon Musk tweets that's like a picture of the raccoon girl and it says cat girls will have to wait. I have a new priority. And I'm just sitting here like, all right. I guess this is who I am now.
All right.
So
Should I Google raccoon girl right now?
You can be
You
careful
can. She's
googling
cute.
things like that.
I mean, it's everything's fine.
just look up Shield Knight Raccoon Girl.
All right.
Like
Yeah,
that'll
that
probably
sounds
be your
good.
best bet if you want to like find what we're talking about.
On it.
I was very scared about the
I-
internet existing when she hit level 18 and became an adult.
I know.
I saw the memes about it. One of my favorite ones that was sent to me was so I'm an adult now, but I still have the mind of a child, and it was just like police cars and it said confused sirens. I was like, oh my god, please stop
What?
sending me memes.
Is this what is this character's name?
Copper.
Fuck.
I'm not seeing
I
any.
forget what her name is.
Raftalia.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember.
okay.
It's not easy, like to spell or look at name.
I think I see what I'm looking at. Okay, maybe.
I'm sure you've seen pictures of her online.
Oh, it probably has.
I mean,
Well, he might
there's-
not have. He doesn't really go around looking up anime.
No.
Well, I mean,
no.
there's been pictures in my Discord.
Has there been?
of
Okay.
Yeah. Because people are dropping the memes about it.
Yeah.
So, which is fun always.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm in to watch that one. That'll be fine. Sounds like a good plan to me.
So what else have you guys been up to this week besides your homework here?
It's been a busy week for Comfy.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of work, a lot of side projects, a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
Cool.
Been a lot of doing a lot of setup for the hunt, which starts tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a great time. We're going to raise some money for the kids.
What is your goal?
I still need to talk to my partner about that because I haven't decided on like an end goal. I've been told that we should be aiming for somewhere around $1,000.
Right.
Because I'm going to be...
By who? Who said that?
So the plan right now is I'm going to be partnering up with a streamer known as Nelstar15. He's a great guy. Partnered here on Mixer, streams on Twitch as well.
Cool.
He's almost partnered on Twitch, which is where he's going to be streaming. He's a much more popular streamer on Twitch.
Okay, I was gonna say that's gonna be interesting given Twitch's rules about that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah. Twitch's rules is you can't stream on both platforms at the same time if you are.
Whereas Mixer does not care.
Whereas Mixer doesn't care. If you're affiliated, you can't stream on both platforms.
Yeah.
And that's like because Twitch has to stick up their butt about lots of things. But that's
competition being one of them. Yeah.
Yes, they're very, very competitive. But so basically, I'm going to be doing it with him. We're going to be participating together. We're going to be racing against Red and Fatal Nova to see who can get the higher score. And the loser has to donate $100 to the winner's campaign.
Cool.
Red's already asking me if I want the money now or later.
He got called into work for most of the week, didn't he?
I mean,
The 20 says, yeah.
Me and Nelstar are working
As well, yeah. Yeah, you have school. So
I have class every day. He's got work every day. We're only doing like nights from like 5:30 p.m. Pacific time on.
Yeah. Yeah, the people who go out to try to win this thing grind for like 12 hours a day usually. Like it's insane how much time they spend in this.
Yeah. So to answer the question of what is the hunt is a GuardianCon event that is put on every year. It is a Borderlands based event. The goal is that you're doing a giant scavenger hunt in Borderlands, and the winner is whoever gets the most guns or the most points at the end. Points are applied to different guns. They are all applied to either legendary weapons or to unique weapons. So like the shotgun that shoots swords that explode into smaller swords that then also explode. That's not a legendary weapon, but it is unique. So it'll count for points.
So it's on the list. Yeah.
Yeah. And the Sandhawk is not legendary, but it's unique. So it's on the list. And depending on how rare these things are or how hard they are to get, there'll be more points. There's not really a prize. It's just like a participation thing. You want to have a good time. It's a reason for the community to get back into Borderlands. And it was run by Gathalion for a while, and they just applied it to GuardianCon. So now it's a charity event now. Everybody's gonna be running Tiltify campaigns to raise money. I don't have a whole lot of stretch goals right now. The ones that we currently have is if we get to a certain goal, I'll dye my hair blue. And if we get even worse than that, then we're going bright pink.
Nice.
And that'll be lasting for like at least 2 months. So
interesting.
Yeah. I am intentionally trying to ruin my life. So we're going to see how far we can take it.
Yeah, I'm going to be participating in the like streaming for the charity. I'm going to not be doing the hunt, I guess, though. Like I have the Tiltify campaign set up. I'm just not going to be competing with like hunting for specific things.
Yeah.
Like I have a campaign that I've never finished that I'm just going to continue with. I have like a level 40 something commando, and I'm just gonna start there and play the game and maybe get a character to level 70, which I've never done. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, Vengeance is going to play Borderlands to have a good time,
And to raise.
And he will be raising money for charity in the meantime, but he will not be participating in the scavenger hunt.
Right.
For those who are curious, who've never heard of Guardian Con or that, they actually raise money for St. Jude's, which is the children's hospital. So it's a very, very good charity. If you are looking to give or take part, it's going to a worthy cause for sure.
Yes. I don't shill out a whole lot of things. St. Jude's is a hospital that runs entirely on donations. They do that so that the families that have to stay there don't ever have to worry about getting food or finding a place to sleep while they are staying at the hospital.
Yeah, and these are people who deal with like the worst of the cases that afflict kids. So
it is a children's research hospital.
Yeah,
it's not a place that you go when you have the flu. It's a place you go when you have a rare type of bone cancer that you need to be studied for.
Yeah, it's a lot of them are unfortunately not, in the best of shape if they're going there. So it's a place to make them comfortable, to give them the best possible care they can. Because it is a research hospital, any developments they make in terms of medicine are freely shared with the medical community. They don't hold anything back. They give it away for free. So it's, a top-notch charity.
There's a lot of great charities out there that I would recommend you give your money to. This is the one that is just by far one of the most amazing that you can give to. If you don't have money, don't worry about that. Spread the word, tell your friends, tell your family, hey, we're doing a fundraiser for St. Jude's. Last year, Guardian Con was able to raise $2.8 million, which was enough to run St. Jude's Children's Hospital for one whole day.
Yeah.
That's how much it takes.
Which is a huge accomplishment for them as well.
It speaks volumes in multiple ways in that this amazing community was able to raise that much money and help out this hospital, but also that this hospital needs so much help. And we need to do as much as we can as people to try to push forward and help them out.
And if I raise $150 during the week, I will have Kaylee shave my head full bald on stream.
That's also a thing. Yes.
So I will be not only half bald, but all the way bald. Real bald. And for anytime you donate $10, I've decided you can torture me with a playlist of your choosing until somebody else donates $10.
So get those all Justin Bieber playlists ready.
There you go. There you go.
I love that you guys are like, oh man, the Justin Bieber playlist. Like, what year are we in?
Look, I'm old.
That's what you're worried about.
I'm only I don't
know.
Who was the new?
You don't know the bad songs right now.
You know what I might do is I might donate $10 and make a Baby Shark playlist that's just the one song and repeat.
Oh no!
Until someone else donates.
Oh no! I love it though. Like I hate it, but like that's hilarious.
And then have another one that's just all Rico Suave the whole time.
Nice.
Oh god. All right.
Because I'm a good person.
Are you? Are you a good person?
You say that. Like
I'm giving you charity.
That word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
No, I'm in. I'm down. That sounds fun. Those are the only incentives and stuff I have going on. I don't really have anything too fancy. I was trying to think of some other stuff, but I'm just like, eh. I think if we blow past 150 and if we can hit 250, I will do a no death runs in Dark Souls stream.
So you're never gonna make it past the first place.
See, what I think you should do instead of no deaths is no weapons.
You're out of your mind. No.
You
no
think
deaths.
you're gonna make it past the first
shield only stream?
No, yeah, I'll be able to make it to the first boss. I'll make it past the first boss, 100%. Like I'll make it.
Oh my god, Copper, we're gonna make him a playlist just 100% what's new, Pussycat.
No. Oh, what is that? There's a movie or something? Oh god. No, there's a joke. There's a joke. Somebody does a bit where they played they played What's New Pussycat like 50 times in the
I
jukebox
think it
in a
was John
row.
Mulaney.
Is it John Mulaney? I know I've seen the bit and they have it play something different for one song and then it goes back to What's New Pussycat. And it's such a funny
Yeah,
bit.
they went to like the jukebox, and here I'm pulling this up because I'm trying to remember it.
It's a really funny bit.
So, John Mulaney and his best friend enter a Chicago diner, order their food, and proceed to pump money into the diner jukebox, selecting 21 plays of Tom Jones' What's New Pussycat. They play, and then I think they played one song that wasn't What's New Pussycat, and then went back to only playing
What's New Pussycat.
like
So good.
And the thing is too, like I've seen people make Russian roulette playlists where it's just What's New Pussycat 5 times, and then there's one other song. And it's like, I wonder what's gonna happen.
That's funny.
It's so mean. Like,
that's the fun part though. It's gonna be a good time. I hope to hit 150 and then beyond that, awesome.
yeah. I hope that we can raise a bunch of money as a community for the kids.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is my goal.
Also, did you figure out how to get your overlay for it, Comfy?
I haven't even tried.
Okay, all right. I got it figured out. DM me if you need to. I think I have everything set up properly.
I don't know if you saw.
We'll see.
But on Twitter, somebody made a bunch of really cool free assets for the hunt.
Nice.
No, I didn't see that.
I retweeted it. You should be able to find it on my account.
Okay.
Drake also retweeted it. Basically, he made a hunt logo, uploaded 3 different sizes of it, made a scorecard that you can put on your stream.
Okay.
Linked all of the fonts, gave you the exact color hex codes. He did a lot of work so that you don't have to.
Oh, okay. Oh, what is this? 210 or however many out of 900? That's your score for the hunt. Okay, I don't need that. I think I might just use the hunt. I might take the hunt logo.
It basically, this dude did a bunch of really cool work, and now we have some very easy to use assets.
Yeah, which is always cool.
Always.
Yeah, because the hunt's been a staple of the Borderlands community for years, even before it became a charity thing. So
yes.
Yeah, I might pop the hunt in there somewhere, if possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. Like, I've never ever had any money come through my account or through my channel whatsoever.
yeah,
So this will be something new for me, but it's all gonna be for charity, so it's not really.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
But it's not for charity. Hey, do you want to support a creator? That's as far as I'm going. I don't want to drop hot memes.
Okay.
But yeah, no, we got hunts coming up. There's also we talked about this earlier on another podcast, but I've heard legends of a Titanfall BR.
That sounds
yes,
fun.
there have
I will
been
try that.
rumors of a Titanfall BR that's coming out, or supposed to be coming out. Now that was rumored to come out what, Monday?
Yes, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
which is Monday. So yes, it is Sunday.
I don't know when I'm gonna have
that
time
will
to
be
try it.
Interesting if
will
it
at
does.
some point.
The other thing I saw about it was that it's supposed to be like pilots only type thing.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, that would
I
be a
love
little weird
Titanfall.
otherwise.
I love Titans. Titanfall. Titans wouldn't work in a battle royale.
You don't think?
No.
No, I I do not think they would work in a BR. What would end up happening, and people get really irrationally angry too. We would be playing as pilots, and then we'd get one shot by a dude in a Titan.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
And in a game where you can respawn regularly and throw your bodies at the Titan, that works.
That doesn't matter. Yeah,
sure.
In a BR, that's people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
The only way that they could do Titans in the BR is if it was everybody starts in a Titan.
Yeah.
I think
it's the only way to do it.
I think that would be fun.
I still don't want to lean in that direction. I would still rather we go the direction of pilots only. Pilot gameplay in Titanfall is hilariously fun, high quality. It's fast, it's smooth, it's easy.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to try it if it comes out.
Gladly. We'll gladly play that.
Yeah, same. So in between the hunt and the Anthem launch, I got a Switch this weekend. Or
yes, you did.
Whichever day it was. I have it here. I got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which is going to be super cool. I got a capture card, which I've never had before, so I'm going to be able to... Wait, did I say Eevee? I'm an idiot. It's clearly Pikachu. Pikachu's the superior of the two, if not your...
He clearly is not. The electric rat sucks.
Fuck you, Kyler.
I absolutely refuse to buy either of the Pokemon Let's Go games because I can't get Umbreon in them.
Yeah,
it doesn't have those Pokemon in it.
Umbreon is my favorite Pokemon of all time, and I can't get Umbreon in Let's Go Eevee.
Yes.
A game about the Pokemon that evolved into Umbreon.
Well, it's only got the original ones in it, so I mean, it does make sense that way. Well, mostly it's just the original stuff.
But yeah, that's going to be my plan for...
Like, if they kept only the originals, I'd be fine. They threw some random Gen 7 Pokemon and that nobody gives a shit about for no reason. That I'm annoyed about.
Wait, they did?
Yeah. It's like literally the Pokedex in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Let me find the exact number that it goes to, because it's ridiculous. And every other part of that game, I'm like full, like, yeah, this is cool and great, and I like it. There's just one specific. All right. So it's all. It's the OG 151 and their Alola versions, which is cool. It goes like this. It goes 1 to 151. Then it jumps to 891 and 892.
In Pokemon Let's Go?
Yes. Because they add Meltan and Melmetal, which are Pokemon from Gen 7. I think it's Sun and Moon is 7. But they...
Meltan
and Melmetal. They're both steel type Pokemon.
Yes.
Oh, it's like a nut?
Yeah, it's literally like a nut.
Yeah, it's like a ditto.
And then the Melmetal is like a nut with like 8 other nuts attached to it.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is weird.
Their Pokemon design like is very hit or miss in every generation past 2.
Yeah.
Is it ever?
Oh yeah.
I mean, listen, Generation 3 is my favorite, but you still have a pig on a spring as a Pokemon. So I know when they're wrong.
Generation 3 is your favorite? Which one was that?
That was Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Okay.
This is the best Pokemon generation, don't at me.
Oh, I actually I was a huge fan. Dude, Blaziken's a badass. All right.
Yeah.
I love Blaziken.
And I heard you like Mudkips.
Mudkip's not bad. Wait, when did we talk about Mudkip before? Am I being trolled?
There is an old meme that was literally, so I heard you like Mudkips.
Yeah.
That was the entirety of the meme. There was nothing else.
I didn't know that. Yeah, because this one had the shark and the whale.
It had
Yes.
Sharpedo.
Yep.
Whale Lord.
It
I'm
had
looking
Whale
right now.
Lord.
Oh, the spare. What was it? What was that bird? What the bird was called?
The Seagull.
No, not the seagull. The
Swallow.
swallow. Yeah.
That
The one with the unfortunate name.
Is it bad that I was like, it's swallow, right? It's not swallow. It's swallow. Okay.
But it's like it's such a good design for that Pokemon.
It
too.
looks so good.
Because
Yeah.
it looks tropical.
Yeah, it's a very good.
Like, and that's the entirety of Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald is top tier and amazing. The storyline is the best in any Pokemon game. The legendaries are great. Emerald was an incredible combination of Ruby and Sapphire. And yeah, if you feel like that's wrong or not true, fight me because I will fight you back.
All right, but I'm going to point out that Pokemon Gold and Silver were still like / Crystal best Pokemon games on the Game Boy because it was basically you then went to the first
the
world
game
as well.
I agree.
That was a really nice touch.
They had the
such a
most
good touch.
content, but that's the problem is that the games didn't stand on their own. Gold and Silver and Crystal, as decent as they were, didn't have legs of their own and required having the original series in the background to compensate for it. The fact that they added OG was very good.
Yeah, that's something I wish you could do like in the later games, especially now since you can store so much more information on stuff. That they go, okay, you've beaten the main game. Here's a remake of the first game. Go play through it with your shit.
You could just explore the entire world. Dude, that'd be so much fun.
I'd love a Pokemon world.
I can't wait for Temtem. Oh my god, that's gonna be so good. And for those of you that don't know what Temtem is, it is like a Pokemon-esque game, but it is a MMO in the same sort of genre where you go around and you collect these little monsters. It has been kickstarted.
That's the one that they had to make like all their own monsters and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you have to. That's the only reason. Like when they first announced it and started showing like screenshots of the game and stuff off, people were like, oh, Nintendo's gonna sue you and shut you down because this is infringement. That's the thing. You can't copyright a game concept, right?
Right.
Not doable.
That's
why we have multiple FPSs and stuff like that.
It was a very high-profile lawsuit about that when Player Unknown, being the most ignorant and self-righteous person in the world, sued Fortnite for stealing his idea of a battle royale, which he stole from, the movie Battle Royale, or the Hunger Games, or Minecraft Hunger Games, or the Culling, or
Or about what was it, H1Z1 that he worked on previous? Like literally, he worked on it, and then helped make that mode in the game. Left and made his own version of it. So it's like, oh my god,
he had a really good startup story. Like incredible. Like this dude is the definition of working hard and getting your dream. He, for anybody who doesn't know, Brendan Green is a dude who just didn't really know anything and wanted to create his own style of game after watching like the Battle Royale movie. And he wanted it to be like that. He wanted everybody to be on an island and fighting each other. So he self-taught himself how to mod Arma. And he modded Arma 2 so that it could be a BR. And that was the quote unquote original BR in gaming was an Arma 2 mod that was just Arma 2 Battle Royale. He moved on when Arma 3 came out. He modded that and created Arma 3 Battle Royale, which was still popular with the Arma community. And then as it progressed, the creators of H1Z1 reached out to him and said, we really like what you've done. We'd like if you could come and make this, but in our game with our engine. And he helped them make H1Z1 King of the Kill. And shortly after, he was approached and was said, hey, He was approached by Bluehole and said, "Hey, do you want to make your own game?"
Yeah.
And he worked with Bluehole, and they created PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, which was an epic mess. And shortly after that, then Fortnite came out, capitalizing on the BR hype, or the Fortnite BR came out, because Fortnite came out in 2016. Fortnite BR came out capitalizing on the BR hype, built up a huge community around it, and basically he tried to sue them, saying that it was his idea. Believe it or not, he lost because it was a stupid argument.
Right.
Because he literally had worked on that type of game for another company before making his own game. Didn't have a leg to stand on.
The dude is really smart. He basically birthed an entire genre of games, and he did it with his own willpower, but he's so self-righteous, it takes almost all of that away.
Right.
Because you can't own that, which is the reason why Nintendo hasn't sued the makers of Temtem, because they literally can't.
Right.
Every other Pokemon, fan-made Pokemon game or MMO that came out that people made, because Nintendo refused to make one, always used Nintendo assets. Always. So they always got shut down because it's copyright infringement. This one doesn't use anybody else's assets. They made their own. So the concept is basically a monster battling game. And this is not the first time somebody has done another game in this genre. Jade Cocoon is an example from PlayStation back in the day on PlayStation 2. I think the second one was on PlayStation 3. So these things exist. They're there. But
yeah. Well,
people tend to forget that.
Well, it's when Halo came out, OG Halo. Remember Halo Combat Evolved, that amazing game?
Never heard of it.
I'm actually
No,
not
it was
shitting
great.
on it. It's one of my favorite games of all
I
time.
played a lot.
They got shit for being a Quake ripoff.
Yeah, they did.
It got a Quake ripoff?
Believe it or not, the only thing that has in common with Quake
is that
the fact that there's space age first-person shooters.
Yeah, it's because somebody had dared to make another game in where you're playing a soldier in the future, right? And they're like, "This is Quake. This is a ripoff." I mean, for a new thing, look at Anthem, right? Anthem is a new game coming out from BioWare. People who haven't played the game have been posting on social media and stuff like that. I saw one guy who ended up getting blocked by King Gathalion on Twitter because he's like, "This is just a Destiny ripoff." And he's like, "You obviously have not played the game if that is something you actually think." Oh.
It is amazing to me how many comparisons there are.
The special event in the Anthem beta is currently going on.
Yes, it is. I was gonna try that out afterwards.
Yeah.
Basically, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific time today, they started a storm which is spawning giants in the free roam.
Yep, which is where I'm currently flying.
Yeah. But I do want to check that out. But so that's actually really infuriating to me because I played Anthem and I was like, wow, this game is really fun. I enjoy a lot of the things about this.
Yep.
And it's the thing about Anthem is it's very unique. No matter no matter who you talk to, somebody's gonna say it's exactly like game X, Y, or Z. They will say that it is Destiny. The only thing it shares in common with Destiny is some of the abilities and the way that they split up the different classes. I can see it being reminiscent of Destiny, but even then it's very different. People will say it is The Division. The only thing it shares in common with The Division is that it's third person. People will say it's Mass Effect. Fun fact, BioWare made Mass Effect and the gunplay is very similar.
Yeah, the game is kind of similar to Mass Effect, especially Andromeda with its multiplayer mode, with its combo system and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's because they are the ones who invented it.
Exactly. It's, and then people will say that it is Warframe, and that one holds the most water. it's way more, except it's way more grounded than Warframe. I like it more.
Yeah.
I actually talked about this a little while ago, which was
The gameplay itself is, I think, I don't know. Warframe is great too, though. So
Warframe's a great game. It's very floaty to me, and super floaty stuff I don't like
sure,
that.
I could see that. Like, there's no weight to your movements at all.
I've been very open about how I feel about games with floaty movement. I like things to be grounded. I like them to be a start and stop with a way to flow in between. Warframe feels like it doesn't stop moving, and there's no reason for that.
Sure. Yeah, I get you.
And that's my opinion. Like, Warframe is great. The devs love what they do, and it shows. And I wish Digital Extremes all of the best. But like, it's not a game for me, which is the way it works. Not every game is for every person.
No. As two things that are coming out, though, new-wise, aside from Anthem here in 2 weeks, sadly, because I really want it now, we also have the Division 2 beta coming up.
Yeah. And we actually, we talked about this earlier, but on the same day that Anthem is coming out for Premiere, which is a week early, it's going to be on February 15th is when Anthem comes out for Premiere owners. On the same day, we're also getting Far Cry New Dawn, and we are also getting Metro Exodus. Those are both coming out on the same day. And I've been seeing very little information about those, except for people bitching about Metro Exodus being on the Epic Store.
Yes. Lots of that going on online.
Which I understand you don't want the game to be on the Epic Store. But fun fact, the Epic Store is like actually a good storefront that supports the developers and creators a lot more than Steam does.
Yeah, they get a bigger.
It doesn't have all the features, but like people are throwing fits for no reason about it, and it's really infuriating. The backlash I did see that I understood was one of the developers said if Metro Exodus doesn't sell well on the Epic Store, it won't be on PC for the next release.
And that's not wrong. That's not here's the thing people like don't get about that, and I saw people complaining on social media. It's like, well, that's just shitty. Why do they do that to their customers? It's not them. They don't they're not their own publisher. Like, that's the thing. They're the devs of the game. They have a publisher. It's their publisher who made the deal with Epic, not the devs.
Yeah,
and it was the publisher who basically said, if this does not sell well, we won't be on PC for the next one.
That's wrong. It was one of the developers who said that, and he said it in a super asshole way.
He did, but it's information that comes from their publisher, right? It's basically what they've been told. So it's, if this doesn't go well, we don't put it on this system that it doesn't sell on. And I can't fault the publisher for that, because if you're not making money on it, if it's not going to be worth the expense, then you can't do it as a business, right? It just doesn't make sense. The publisher, like the dev put it out there in a really shitty way to a lot of people, but people are also being really shitty to them and treating them like they're the ones who made this decision.
Oh, yeah.
When it had been out for a while saying that, we didn't make this decision. Like, this decision was made by the publisher. We had nothing to do with it. As far as we're concerned, we'd like our game to be available everywhere and not, and stuff. But people are like, no, you did this. It's like, no.
Well, the most recent garbage that's been happening with that is people are review bombing the two previous Metro games on Steam.
Wait, really? They're doing that again?
Yep, they're doing that.
Come on.
The most pathetic thing you can ever do is
so dumb.
Review bomb a game that has already existed for years because you don't agree with what the developers are doing.
Oh, did you?
The level of outrage over them putting it on the Epic Store is stupid.
It is very stupid.
I get the backlash at that singular developer who was an asshole.
But I also get why he was being why he was an asshole to that particular person he was speaking to.
Yeah.
Because that guy he was speaking to directly was being a dick to him. And so, shockingly, someone responded in kind. And then the internet's like, well, look how he responded. It's like, yeah, he doesn't have to be nice to you.
Right.
Unfortunately, he kind of does, just because of the situation he's in. Because the way that he looks, he is the face of his company when he does that.
Yes.
And while I completely agree that he was in the right to do that, he wasn't at all, because he's the face of his company at that moment.
Yes. Now, is he the worst example of that type of behavior? No.
No.
Randy Pitchford exists, who's another whole kettle of worms.
Never heard of him. What's he do?
Right now,
I'm kidding.
get accused of really, really awful things. That's
Yeah.
what he does. And we can try to avoid that, because that's another whole conversation that is, oh boy.
That is the big yike. Is the Randy Pitchford situation. Because I liked Randy. I like his games. I like what he does.
I just typically look at somebody who is there's nothing like he always tries to like sell his game, which is good. That's what you're supposed to do. But I seem like every time I see somebody being a salesman, I'm always like, stop.
The problem with I'm just gonna touch on it and then leave it because I don't want to start a conversation. I'm not gonna touch on the super bad things. I'm gonna touch on the things that are actually of legal precedent. Randy Pitchford is being accused of taking a personal loan from 2K Games, promising to pay it off with alleged revenue from Borderlands 3.
Yes, he took a
personal loan or a bonus.
He took an advance on his share of the profits from
which
Borderlands 3.
In itself is not illegal, however, it is highly unethical.
Yeah, it's not illegal. That's actually not a crime.
People are flipping their shit because they think it's illegal. And it's not. Like
it's just a really shitty thing to do.
The other thing I just don't want to touch on a podcast.
Yes.
It's because it's very much his private life that people are throwing out into the light, because the internet's favorite thing to do when they find out somebody does something wrong is burn them at the stake. And while we have literally no proof of what he's being accused of, he's getting burned at the stake right now. So
and it should be well noted that his accuser, and it's only one person, despite this person saying that the other people at the office where he works saw this stuff. His accuser is somebody that Gearbox and Randy are suing for breach of trust and actual fraud and theft of like a lot of money.
Oh, okay.
Like a couple $1 million or something like that. It's a shit ton of cash that this guy apparently stole. And the thing is, they can kind of prove it because this guy used to be their lawyer and had a company credit card. And when he left the company, he turned in his company credit card. They went over his finances, his spending of it, and it turns out he spent a lot of company money on things he's not allowed to or supposed to, including like his house, personal things that are not supposed to be charged to the company, things like that. He also defaulted on a loan that Randy himself gave him because these two used to be business partners in another fashion as well. They had like a real estate business type thing. And yeah, so this guy is very much on the hook for some actual crimes, some big ones. And his response to it was to go, well, look at Randy. You know, he's doing these things.
Unnamed things, because we're not going to burn a man at the stake with zero proof.
No, he's accused of some really, really bad things. There is currently no proof.
And the alleged proof that they have proves them wrong as well.
Yeah.
Which Randy, the worst thing that could be happening right now is he's under fire for some unethical things that I definitely don't agree with, which makes me sad because I like the man. But if this will give us a better just end game of just understanding what's going on and getting all of the right people in the right places, then I'm okay with it. If the people that go to prison, If the people that are supposed to go to prison, and if Randy's one of them, so be it. He fucked up. He has to pay for the consequences.
Yeah,
But
if he's guilty,
right
then
now,
burn him at the stake there. But
absolutely. But I feel like, hey, let's talk about internet, like just socialist for a second. We as a society are cunts because for some reason we have all decided that when we get the slightest whiff of information, we should be allowed to be judge, jury, and executioner. Which is great because, hey, guess what? All of these people we don't have any proof of what's happened or anything. And we can set an internet mob on them that will follow them for the rest of their lives. So, hey, that's a fun time. Maybe we'll get Borderlands 3.
Maybe. Hopefully.
we should. It's already been worked on for quite some time.
I'm sure we'll still get it at some point.
It's in the finishing stages of development.
Yeah, and even then, like I know some people are like, well, if he's guilty of it, I'm not going to play the game. I'm still going to play it. Randy is not the only person worked on that game.
The game.
He's basically the CEO of the company. It doesn't, he's not the guy who made it. Like, he's just not. Like,
anybody who says that they're not going to play the game and not going to support the company because of this guy who will be ousted from the company, if what is happening is true, is an idiot, ignorant, and is ruining people's lives.
Yes.
Because believe it or not, a company isn't comprised of one man. There's actually hundreds of people at this company that all rely on this game doing well to be able to put food in their mouths and roofs over their heads.
Yeah, Gearbox is a pretty big studio, and they have a lot of money tied up in this series.
Exactly. And if these people can't do that, then they're kind of screwed. And I understand the outrage at one individual person, but you need to understand the lives that you'd be affecting otherwise.
One individual person does not a company make.
Yeah, if you don't buy the game because of Randy Pitchford, then like programmer 28 is gonna lose his job because you didn't.
You're denying yourself playing a game that you want to play because someone connected with the company did something awful. Well, yeah, that's most companies.
See, I deny service on companies when the entire company acts scummy. And that is something I'll stand by.
Yeah, and that's not the case here.
No, it's absolutely not. And we don't even know the bottom line of this situation.
No.
Which is,
and no one does. Like, he's not up for criminal charges. He's not being, as far as we know, he's not being investigated. This is just something someone claimed that he's actively suing because this person stole, I think it's like $1.2 or $2 million from from Gearbox. Like, this guy's talking about, Randy taking money from the developers and stuff like that. Like, because this thing could have went to them, and instead of him taking an advance, which would come out of Randy's share of the profits. Yeah. And as the CEO, Randy gets a good chunk of the profits.
Yeah. Still unethical, but we're still letting it happen.
And this is someone who actually stole money from these people.
Yes. And hey, you know what? I hope Borderlands 3 comes out soon.
I do too. It should be this year.
So it would seem. The original release date that 2K was slated for was fiscal year 2019, which ends in March.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be out for that then.
It was delayed.
Yeah.
They straight up said that it was delayed and not coming out when it was originally planned.
I haven't really heard any news about the game, to be honest. I don't pay attention, really.
Nothing's really been talked about. Yeah, they've been keeping it kind of on the low key. The most we've seen was like the engine, and that was a while ago.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing. I didn't actually see it. So
they were just showing the engine and how they were able to program their specific animation style to make it work.
Yeah.
For somebody like me, and I'm sure for Copper as well, It was really cool.
Yeah, it was a very, very interesting video and like just technical demonstration that they went through of how
because that's all it was. It was literally just
they
a tech
actually
demo.
make it work. Like, because for those who don't know, the Borderlands games have a very distinct
style.
It's very cel shaded. It has very dark lines, like outlining parts, stuff like very hard dark shadows. Like it's very, very interesting. And it's made in a normal game engine, and they're basically going, this is how we get this to look like this. And then they went and showed this is what Borderlands looked like originally before we did anything.
Mm-hmm.
And
this is what it looks like after we apply all our shaders.
Yeah, because they're like, this wasn't doing a ton for anybody. Like, it didn't look super interesting, didn't look super different, looked very kind of run of the mill for this type of game. And they're like, that's not really what we want. So they went back to the drawing board and they came up with this style, and it's
so good,
noticeable as soon as you see it. Like, there's nothing else like it in the gaming industry. The closest thing really would be, oddly enough, Link Wind Waker.
Or Breath of the Wild, actually.
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild nowadays. Yeah, Breath of the Wild nowadays.
You know what's great? Cell shading looks great. You could play Borderlands 1. It still holds up because the cell shaded graphics, they don't get outdated as quickly. They still look good. Like, you can still tell that Borderlands is, how old is Borderlands now? It's like
Borderlands 1 came out 10 years ago.
Is it 10 years old?
Yeah, at least.
I'm pretty sure it came out.
Oh, that is huge.
2009, didn't it? Or 2010?
No, this is.
Oh my god, this Ash Titan is ginormous.
Borderlands came out October 20th, 2009. I was right.
Yeah, look at that. Love that game. It's so good.
The gunplay doesn't hold up, but the animations do.
Maybe.
Gunplay is not good in that game.
Borderlands is the game that started my whole obsession with looter shooters, because I've always enjoyed RPGs and I've always enjoyed shooters, and then I played Borderlands. I was like, what? There's two of those things in here, and I've loved the kind of genre since.
I fell in love with Borderlands 2. I got a copy of it in high school from a friend using some gray means, and I immediately went and paid for it because I wanted to support the developers.
Nice.
Like, I played it and I was like, this game is amazing. I feel bad having not paid for this, and I have bought, I think, 7 copies of Borderlands 2 altogether.
Why 7? Different consoles and
Xbox
stuff.
360, PC, Xbox One, and multiple copies for friends.
Do I
on
own,
multiple platforms?
Do I own Borderlands 1 on Steam? I don't know if I do.
I do have Borderlands 1, and I do have the pre-sequel as well.
I have 2.
I do have the pre-disappointment.
I do have the original Borderlands. All right, cool. I have that on there.
It's good for one playthrough.
It's barely one playthrough.
For what? Oh, the pre-sequel?
The pre-sequel.
Yeah,
pre-sequel.
I didn't.
It was, if they marketed it as a DLC, if they sold it for $40, it'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I don't have any of the, what don't I have? There's some things I don't have DLC for. I don't have all the little tiny microtransaction-y DLCs for Borderlands 2.
Those are fun.
I think I played through them when I had the pre-sequel, or when I got the Handsome Collection. But like, I don't think I want to pay however much money for all the DLCs. They're like $3 a pop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only $15, but
they're about 3 missions a piece.
Right.
With a boss and an end game, with an end game boss at the end after the normal boss.
Oh,
or
yeah,
basically
like
an end game
boss.
version of the boss at the end.
Right.
Very fun, very short. They're all like themed after different like holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a Thanksgiving one, and the boss is a giant turkey at the end.
It's so good.
There's a lot of fun stuff that they do.
Bunkers and Badasses. Oh, I have the Tiny Tina DLC. Ogre.
Yes,
I'm gonna
that
be
is
playing...
a very good.
Welcome to Bunkers and Badasses.
I don't remember where I left off in my playthrough that I'm going to be continuing on Tuesday for the hunt, but like I'll probably get through some of the DLCs. My favorite is Tiny Tina's. Oh my god, it's too good.
Tiny Tina DLC is
Too good. It's perfect.
Incredible.
It's the best. My least favorite might be the pirate one. I'm not really a huge pirate one fan. Pirates are cool though. What else was there?
There was
There's the Wattle Gobbler, the Thanksgiving one.
No, I'm talking the main DLC.
No, he's talking about. So there was Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt, which was the worst DLC.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Absolutely the worst one. There was Captain Scarlet and her Pirate's Booty, which was okay, but I didn't particularly like it.
Mr. Torque is the best. Though.
Mr. Torque's Campaign of Carnage.
That character is just hilarious. And then
Did somebody say explosions?
Well, there's a thing to do for the hunt goal. Sit and listen to Grandma Torg's whole spiel.
Oh god.
Oh my god, it's so long.
I remember that. I don't remember much of it, but
that's that was the Thanksgiving one. You had to sit there and listen to her entire spiel.
It's so good. I don't think I finished it though. Like it's just maybe I did. I don't remember.
It's a great DLC. Like all of every Borderlands piece of content has always one-upped itself.
Yeah.
Like it's always getting progressively better, except for Sir Hammerlock's Big Game Hunt. But even then they like made a meme at the end that was pretty good, which was the final boss showing up and then being like, haha, it's gonna be me, the final boss. And then
I didn't think there was anything wrong with the Big Game Hunt. I liked it. Why didn't you like it? I thought it was fine.
There wasn't a particularly good storyline. It wasn't particularly funny. The characters didn't really have any emotion going through it. They just kind of hung out the entire time.
Yeah, okay.
And
I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny though.
And all of the bosses didn't feel like I was building up to anything. It felt like I was killing bosses in the game for the sake of killing bosses. Like in Captain Scarlet's, like I don't even particularly like that DLC, but there was a very coherent storyline that wasn't walk here, kill this. Torg's was walk here, kill this, but they did that on purpose very clearly.
Yeah, it's Torg.
Yeah.
It was the whole point was like you need to become the strongest and you need to do that by killing everybody else.
Yeah.
And so like that made sense. And then Tiny Tina's obviously is the best.
Oh yeah, it's just too good. It's perfect. It's like D&D jokes and
my DM, he
so
actually
much fun.
I was talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, I've never played Borderlands." I was like, "Cool. I'm buying you a copy of it. I'm buying you a copy of Tiny Tina's. I'm giving you a character that's already like at level and we're going to play through this DLC together."
Nice.
And he loved it. He thought it was amazing because it's hilarious. It's exactly what a DM that doesn't know how to DM would do. It's like welcome everybody. It was a bright and sunny day and everything was going well. It's like, and then it's like, wait, I thought you said that like the world was in trouble. Oh yeah, you're right. It was Eternal Night, and just the whole set changes.
It's too good. Oh, I loved it. So yeah, that's what we get to look forward to this week. Lots of Borderlands stuff.
Yep. And then
it's going to be lots of fun.
Yeah.
This weekend is Division 2 beta. There's that to do. I know, Dale, you're not taking part.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to Saturday. Me and Kaylee are going to start co-op Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and we're going to try to get through the co-op before Anthem launch. So that's going to be mega fun. We're going to do all of the Pikachu things and have a good time.
I just put my pre-order in today, actually.
Yeah.
For Division 2.
And then like if we get through Pikachu before the Anthem launch, I don't know what the plan will be then. We'll figure it out. Video games of some sort. All right. So Next week we're gonna be doing, what is this thing called? Once again,
Promised Neverland.
Promised Neverland. It is an anime
Neverland.
about some children who are born in an orphanage and they discover that they are gonna get eaten unless they escape. So we'll talk about that next week. Comfy, where can people on the internets find your face?
Ooh, man, I'm trying to figure out what level of shilling I'm doing here.
The
Max level.
Max level. All right.
Oh god.
All right, guys. I'm Comfy. You can find me at mixer.com/comfygamer. You can find me on Twitter at @thecomfygamer. And now you can use my creator code on the Epic Store, _comfy_gamer. Support a creator. All that fun stuff. And do I have anything else that I need to shell out? Suboptimal.co. Lots of cool content there. You can find this podcast on there as well. I'm trying to think. Any other memes I need to drop?
I'm waiting.
Your
Keep them
Discord?
coming.
You can find my Discord at discord.gg. You can find it at discord.gg/KPGRTP. Fun fact, that is an actual working Discord link for the next 24 hours because I just made one for the meme. So if you want to do that, jump on it. But you only got 24 hours.
Oh, God.
I don't have any more shills. I'm sorry.
Okay. Copper, where can they find you?
You can find me here on Mixer at Copper Lion. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Copper Lion Art and Copper Lion Designs, respectively. I don't have a website to shell out yet. I really need to get my portfolio website finished. Hopefully after I get the current jobs I'm working on done. Because that will make getting more work easier. And then that's about it for me. Dale, what about you?
Okay, you can find me at mixer.com/Mr. Vengeance, where we record this podcast live every week. Twitter and Instagram are both Mr. Vengeance X7. I do daily Instagram posts usually. So that is gonna do her for this week. Next week is, God, I forgot again. What is this
The
thing?
Promised Neverland.
Promised
I am the
Neverland.
worst. Promised
I mean-
Neverland. I might actually be the worst. Anyway,
Promise never.
Okay. All right. Anyway, next week, Promised Neverland. We're gonna talk about it, and then probably more video games, like always. See you guys
And
later.
for anybody who's wondering, I do believe this one is on Crunchyroll as well.
It is on Crunchyroll.
Awesome.
That's where
Awesome.
I was checking it.
Groovy. I will have to watch it on my couch and make Kaylee watch it, and then she will yell at me, but it'll be fine. All right. Thanks for hanging out. Next week, we'll see you guys for more 2.5 Weebs.